Good morning, Mr. Zen Chen Chen. How is everyone this morning? Listen, I wanted to bring up a topic that I have meaning to make a tape on for quite some time. The fear of death. I am one of those many millions and millions of individuals out who have anxiety, and anxiety is okay to deal with, but this fear of death is something that is perplexing to me. I have been afraid of death since I was aware that there was a such thing as death. When I was a little child, I began to read medical books at age 5 or 6, I think it was, and I began to notice the things that could kill you, and I immediately went into hypochondria at a very young age, and but it wasn't really hypochondria, classically speaking. It was just the fear of diseases and the way that you would die. Some of the most horrible ones I would think about and obsess about. Now, look, folks, some of you people have accepted your own mortality or your own absolute fact that you're going to die. Nobody is yet that we know of except one that's written of Jesus Christ. But listen, I'm so afraid to die that I cannot enjoy living most of the time because it's on my mind when I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. It's on my mind when I first wake up in the morning, and it's on my mind right before I go to bed. Now, it's kind of weird to even admit something like this, but I feel like I must do this because it's something that I have a feeling there are a lot of you people out there that are afraid of death. Death to me is the most horrible thing that that I can think of, and yet I read these short books and articles on death, and many, many religious figures write passages on death, and that there's nothing to fear about it, but by golly, there is something to fear as far as I'm concerned. There's not only the fear of how you're going to die, but what happens after you die. And then, of course, religion lays out a number of things that you must do in order to live forever in a peaceful kind of a situation, or in a heaven-like state, or a heavenly state. The requirements sometimes are very, very tough. But really and truly, do we just go to sleep and sleep forever through eternity? Or do we actually cross a line somewhere in some kind of consciousness and meet our ex-relatives? And boy, I'll tell you, this place has got to be a mighty crowded place, and how it all happens is to me is very perplexing. But it is so frightening to me, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that people are really at ease with it. I think they're lying. You have to be, if you're like me, you're afraid to die. I asked one of my daughter's girlfriends one time, does your father fear death? And she said, is he afraid of dying? And she said, no, he's afraid of living. And I just don't know all these joking answers and everything, but the seriousness of and the perplexing state of affairs that mankind must die is something that I have not accepted, and yet how foolish to not accept it because you are going to die. Now, I don't like it. I cannot persuade my psyche to accept the fact that death is this beautiful experience and part of living and all of that. I watched my father die, and I watched my mother die, and recently I had a good friend of mine die, and as I looked at him in the casket, at my age, I thought, man, I'm going to be there soon myself, and it's frightening to me. I mean, I just... I don't know what I'm trying to say here this morning. I don't know what I'm trying to ask, but this fear of death is so overwhelming that I feel like jumping up and down and screaming about it. And would I take complete, immortality if I could? Would I live forever and ever if I could? Of course I would. But I don't know, man. I know I'm scared of it. I don't want to die. I don't want to be shot and killed. I don't want to... I've done a lot of crazy things, flown airplanes all my life, rode motorcycles, lived on the edge, done a lot of things that you should be afraid of, but... you know, when it comes down to it, the reality, that shocking reality feeling that you get, sometimes when you know and it hits you like a ton of bricks, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, man. And it's soon, maybe. Oh, God, that hurt. That's scary, man. So, without disrespect to God, I believe in God. And people say, if you believe in God, then why would you fear death? Well, I still have a problem that I can't quite get totally there of having a totally easy mind about dying. I guess some of you are like that. What a useless tape. But anyway, I just had to make this tape. I don't know if any of you people are afraid to die or not, like I am. If you're like me, you've ruined your whole life over the fear of death. I'm going to go now. I'll see you later. Mr. Zen 1010 in South Florida, saying good morning to you and have a peaceful day. Bye-bye.